This week, battling Bill Guerin ignites the oil. The NHLPA presents Be a Player, the hockey show. Brought to you by EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome to Be a Player, the hockey show, coming to you this week from Edmonton, Alberta. And on this week's show, I thought it'd be fun to show exactly what goes on game day. We're going to talk to some of the trainers, some of the TV guys, even some of the players, and give you sort of an inside perspective of what goes on game day. Now, it's just after 11 o'clock here in Edmonton, and as you can see, the Zambonis on the ice, waiting for the LA Kings actually to come out for their pregame skate. Now, our profile this week is Edmonton Oilers' Bill Guerin. He's their top gun here, and he's coming up later on in the show. But first, trivia. Here's how you can play along.
Send your answer via the internet to the NHLPA's website at www.nhlpa.com. The first correct answer wins an NHL 99 game courtesy of EA Sports. All other correct responses received before we give the answer later on will be entered in a draw with a chance to win an autographed NHLPA jersey. This week's trivia question is, who were the only two active goaltenders to be named MVP in an All-Star game?
I'm standing here at center ice at the Skyreach Center here in Edmonton, Alberta. As game day preparations continue, you can see they're working on the glass so you fans can see the game. But the most important aspect for the players is obviously the ice. Edmonton's notoriously known around the league for having some of the best ice. Now, it's always fast and hard in the third period. This is where some of the players can actually have injuries on softer ice. It feels actually like slush when you're skating through it. It's hard on your legs, and this can lead to injury. Now, these players had absolutely no trouble scoring goals and laying hits on the hit parade.
Lindros out of the box. Quick shot. He scores. Been saved. Big save by Javi Guerin. Slide it goes to Domino's. Bill McCullough shoots, scores. All alone, lifted right by Van Beesbrook. Oh, that makes it going as a goal. The skaters a chance in front, score! One-timer score! Punching hit by Brad Brown. The Tampa from the Catbrand. What a save! Rebound, another great save! Luke Robitaille gets his 500th National Hockey League goal!
EA Sports presents Cyber Lindros. If it's in the game, it's in the game. NHL 99. EA Sports, it's in the game.
2 magazines, 1 double espresso, $12. Khaki pants, $45. Work boots, $85. Realizing you're unzipped before anyone else does? Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted all over. Even coffee bars.
was interesting.
The all-new Volkswagen Jetta. Sometimes everything just comes together. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Welcome back to Be a Player. I'm here in the Oilers fitness room. Now it's game day here, and joining me now is Doug Wade, who unfortunately has spent a little too much time in here this year. Doug, it's an off day for you. The guys are playing. You're injured right now. Give me a little bit of your schedule.
On game day, I come in here, my off day, thanks a lot. I come in here at 7:30 in the morning, and I skate for about an hour and a half with Daryl Duke, and just work on my quickness and just bag myself, as they say. And I try to stay out of the guys' way. You know, we've been struggling a bit, so we're trying to focus right now. And I think tonight I'll come in during the game and spend some more time in here during the game, and then go up in the press box for the third period and root on my teammates.
Now, coming up next on the show is a profile on your friend and teammate Bill Guerin. Tell me a little bit about Bill.
Everybody calls him my friend. I don't know where they got that. No, if you sat down and talked to Bill, you know what Bill's all about. First of all, he's a great friend, and he's a great guy, a lot of fun. But the big thing about him in this locker room is he's a leader, and he's got a lot of character. He knows how to win, and I think I've seen it before. I played on World Cup teams with him, and getting him here, he's brought a lot to this room, and not just with me going down, but we've had a couple unfortunate things, and we've lost Curtis, and I think Billy's really carried the mail the first half of the season for us, and he's been a great player for us.
Here's Bill Guerin on our Be a Player profile.
Mike Paluzzo the other, and here's Guerin moving in. Score!
Let's start things off in New Jersey. What was it like to be a young player going into a situation where there's a lot of older, experienced, real high-end NHL players?
I think it's paying off now. There are times, when I was in Jersey that I didn't really like it. I didn't feel I was producing offensively as much as I could, but I really think it is paying off now. I learned a lot about the game. Jacques taught us all, what it took to win, and the defensive part of the game.
They talk about different styles of plays. Why do you think the Trap was so successful?
I think it was successful because we had a good blend of players. We had, guys who were really talented offensively, guys who were big, and really disciplined and committed to playing that system. Yeah, you can win in that system, but you have to be dedicated to it. You really have to buy into it.
Going into last year, you're in the middle of a contract negotiation. Unfortunately, not only was your general manager the general manager of the New Jersey Devils, but he's also the general manager of the U.S. Olympic team, something that you wanted to play for. How difficult was that period of time when you're trying to get your contract done and play for the Olympic team?
I had all the cards stacked against me, and you can't blame Lou for doing what he did. I mean, he's a general manager, he's doing his job. But yeah, I was frustrated with it, I was upset with it. I did feel that he crossed the line with it. I think in the long run it actually worked out for me, because I eventually I got what I wanted, and that was out of New Jersey.
Talking to some of the guys at the Olympics this year after the '96 World Cup, they said what an integral part of the team. They had to have you on the '98 Olympic team. What was that like for the players to sort of come forward and say, listen, this guy was a big part of the success in '96. We need him, coach. We got to have him.
There was never going to be a boycott, like Holly said, but it was great to hear that. It really, and Matthew Schneider said some things in the paper. All the guys came forth and really supported me. And when you have that kind of support from the guys that you go into battle with, it means everything in the world to you.
I just found out your mom is from Nicaragua, and they had that huge relief fund. How did you get involved with that?
My mom was pretty upset about what happened, and I figured if I could just do like a public announcement about what the Red Cross was doing, maybe it could help, generate some money for them. And I think what they said, they raised over $250,000 to send down there. So I was pretty happy.
What was your initial reaction to being traded to Edmonton?
How cold it is up here. That was my first thought. But I was excited. I'm obviously good friends with Dougie Waite, and we spoke on and off, beforehand, and while the rumors were going around, and he was telling me how much I would really like it up here. That Ronnie was a good guy to play for, You know, how relaxed the room is, how, you know, you're just expected to come to the rink and play hockey the way that you're capable of doing it. And there's no pressure put on you. And I was just, it's exactly what I was looking for. It's exactly what I needed. And to come to a town where hockey's #1. It's been great, and the style of play that we have is, it's perfect for me.
We'll have more with Bill later on in the show, but first, we'd like to talk to some of the hardest working and often wackiest guys in all the NHL. Joining me now is Peter Miller. He's an equipment manager with the LA Kings. Peter, tell me about your game day routine. You fly in the night before. Tell me a little bit what you guys get up to.
The four of us, the 2 medical trainers, myself, and my partner, came here, set up, get everything ready for the morning skate today. Ricky came in this morning, 8 o'clock, sharpened the skates. I came in a little later and set everything else up. Once the players get here, we more or less just whatever they need.
Well, thanks, Peter. And you know what time it is? No idea. It's
no
time for
idea.
the hot sheet. Kevin, we got a new segment on the show. It's called the hot sheet. Now, what the hot sheet is what the guys are talking about. Now, this week's subject is the 2 refs. You know, watching games personally for myself as a fan now, I haven't seen much difference. What's it like on the ice?
Yeah, I don't see much difference either, man. I think it's one of those things where they think it was going to slow things down a lot. But I think the one referee does a great job. And, you know, just seeing football sometimes, they need 20 referees. But right now in hockey, I think the one referee would be fine.
I think they're getting a lot of behind-the-play stuff, the retaliatory stuff they get. You know, they see, maybe they won't see the initial contact, but they'll see the other stuff because as soon as something happens, you got 4 eyes on you.
You know, sometimes you got one referee calling one style of game and another referee calling another style of game, and you know, you're kind of caught in the middle and you don't know what's acceptable and what's unacceptable, and you know, spend the rest of the game in the box or you know, on the power play.
You know, the best referees, the Bill McCurrys and the Koharskis and these guys, I think as individuals, they have a real good feel for the game, and they've been in it for a long time, and you know, they know when to call a penalty, they know when not to call a penalty, and the way the game is going and the flow of the game, the importance of the game. And I think sometimes if you got a young referee amongst that, at times he might call something that he shouldn't have called.
You know, at times they do get in the way out there, but you know, sometimes they're able to be Johnny on the spot and make a call that a one referee system wouldn't be able to do. So there's always pros and cons to that, and right now I think we're still feeling it out.
Connie from Monterey Park, California asked Chris Pronger, would you give up being a #1 draft pick if it meant having fewer expectations and less pressure put on you? Here's Chris with his reply.
I don't think so. I think anytime there's a lot of pressure or high expectations on yourself, it brings out the best in most people, and you're able to develop certainly in a fast manner, and you're able to put also pressure on yourself, and I think set higher goals for yourself to try to achieve.
Ask your questions and get the latest stats and stories on your favorite players at NHLPA.com, the official website of the NHLPA. They taught us how to love. They taught us how to live. They're back. Monster Ballads. 35 powerful hits on 2 CDs and 2 cassettes. It's awesome! Is this love? Whitesnake. Winger. When I see you smile more than words. Rush delivery available. Every bad boy has his soft side. Get Monster Ballads. To order, call the number on your screen. This 35-track collection is not sold in stores.
This is my ice. I know every groove on this ice. I'd like to show you an example. It's Mark Messier. Dominic Hasek. Pierre Bondra. You can tell by the texture. It's the gum's numb. Yeah.
Doug Gilmore. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Echo.
Right here, the big one? That's a beauty. That's Curtis Joseph, Cujo. Oh, yeah, Cooch.
The LA Kings are having their pregame skate behind me, as you can see. Now, some teams like to skate for 15 minutes, some like to skate for 45. It all depends on the coach. But the unwritten rule in the NHL is all young guys stay late after practice. Now, one young guy who's making his mark in Boston is Kyle McLaren, the subject of our next generation.
Basically forward for 1 year, and then didn't like that one bit, so went back to defense. And probably basically the guys I followed were Paul Coffey, Ray Bourque, Chris Chilios. Probably those three guys are basically my biggest influence on hockey.
The drive by McLaren, he scores!
As soon as I got to training camp and met the guys and met Ray, that kind of eased off me a little bit. I was lucky enough to make the team, and at a very young age. But I feel there's more pressure on me now than there was back when I was, the 9th pick overall, and when I was 18. He demands so much out of every guy. He doesn't care what you did last year or what you did last game. It's what you're doing for him right now and today. And it's just his style and his coaching staff that he brought in with Laperriere in the defensive core. It's been amazing. I look back and when I was 18 and to now, how I felt back then, just coming up and going into the training camp saying, well, I'm gonna have fun, see what happens. And now it's, let's go for the cup, let's see what we can do, let's try to get the team better. And I think my 10 years in the league, I'm gonna be 28. And most guys, 10 years, they'll be 34, 35, and I'm like, I still feel like I'm 18 going on my first year. It's that exciting and it's that fun.
It was really a dream come true the day I was drafted, and you just don't know what to expect. I didn't even know where St. Louis was, to be very honest with you. So it was really nice. I mean, this town is very wonderful with its hockey team. They embraced all of us very quickly, and this became a big part of my life. I mean, certainly, when I scored my 300 goal was a special moment. When I got my 1,000 point was a special moment. Even that 1,000th game, but for the hockey memories, that really the Monday Night Miracle is still the most electrifying thing I've ever played on. I was on the ice for the game winner. It was really when it went in, it was just like, I mean, the most unbelievable time of my whole career.
7:35 remaining in the first period here. Kiel, the Blues with a 1-0 lead.
I was out in L.A. On business, and I got a call the night before the home opener here, the first game of the year, and he asked me if I would like to do it. So I actually had to get on a plane, change my plans, and fly out the next morning. They faxed me the roster, and I did the game the next night, and I've been doing it since. I've always enjoyed being with people, and so I don't find that a big challenge is to talking to the guys and finding what's going on. But you have to almost do it, you have to gather that trust in them that you're not going to get inside information or information from them that is going to come back to haunt them. I'm employed by the Blues, but you kind of, to gain trust even by the fans, you kind of have to analyze what's really happening. I don't want to be called a homer. I just don't think that that's the way the game is supposed to be, broadcast. It's supposed to be, give the people a vision of what's really happening.
Up next, more with Brett and Bill Guerin, right after these messages.
There comes a point in your life when you outgrow those cute little pickups, at which time you might want to consider something a little more adult, a truck that can run rings around compacts. Dodge Dakota, with more room and more available towing, torque, and power. Magnum Power. Dakota, it's time to put away the toys.
Izzy, this cold, I'm so stuffed up. Feels like I'm underwater, too. The sneezing and coughing can last all night. My eyes won't shut either. I need NyQuil for relief so I can rest. Because I have plans in the morning. What? I can't say.
With NyQuil, he gets relief, so he'll sleep and wake up to a good morning.
Don't look.
NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest and have a good morning medicine.
Sometimes, after NHL Tonight, I take my knowledge to a sports bar. There's always someone there who thinks his knowledge is the biggest. Then, I show them mine.
I'm here in one of the mobile trucks underneath the rink, and this is actually a mini TV studio. This is where these guys do all their work. And joining me now is Don Moss, master switcher. Tell me about your job and a little bit of what you do.
In the truck here, we've got all the video sources that the production crew can put on the air, like videotape machines and all the different cameras and that sort of thing. So this piece of equipment is called a switcher, and I'm called a technical director, and the director who sits where
This is my chair. Yeah, all right.
He tells me what to put on the air, and hopefully I push the button at the right time and make it go on the air.
Well, it sounds like a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. One guy who enjoys a lot of pressure as well is Bill Guerin of the Edmonton Oilers. Here's part 2 of our Be a Player profile.
He whines a lot, but it's part of the business.
One of the things that seems to be great about the Oilers, I was out here last year doing a show on Doug Waite, your buddy, and the guys are all snowmobiling. It really seemed like a tight-knit team. It almost seemed like a junior team in a sense. What's it like to play in those circumstances?
I was so surprised when I first got here because I couldn't believe how much time these guys spent at the rink every single day. I mean, guys are here, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours before practice, and they're here an hour and a half, 2 hours after practice is over. And, you know, it's nothing fancy. It's nothing complicated. The guys just like being together and, you know, having lunch in the room together.
There's a team meal. Explain some of that sort of bonding stuff.
Every day, except game days, lunch in the locker room afterwards. Sparky will take care of that. We have a list in the locker room of all the guys on the team, and a different guy pays every day. And you just keep going through the rotation, and if you're not on the list and you don't pay, you don't eat. So everybody's on there.
How are you with your sticks? What do you like? First of all, what kind of sticks are you using?
I'm using Vicks this year, yeah.
Wood?
I still use wood. I have a problem with those composite. I just can't lift the puck. I don't know why.
Really?
It's probably my hands, not the stick, but I just...
You're composite in your hands.
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist. I like the wood.